Welcome to the Week 10 recap, and we've got Sam back. You were in the first one of the year we had, second weekly prize, and the curse of Noah Aiello is broken, right? All
Yep.
gone.
Yeah, it feels good. I was pretty sure. I think I said that first week on the podcast that I'd probably get on this one and never come back because that's usually how my teams go.
It was pretty close.
Yep, it was pretty close, but this it feels good to be back, and thanks for having me on. But yes, the curse, which I knew was a curse when he put it there, he never openly admitted to the curse, but
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a little bit more free.
Excellent. We knew that was what was going on because your team hasn't made any sense over the last, your 8-game losing streak that you had. It's obviously been very tough, but you're back at it now. And even through an 8-game losing streak, you're still 500 right now and hanging on to the last playoff spot at 10-10, 175 points this week. This was your second weekly prize of the year, and just to let everybody know where we're standing there through 10 weeks, Andre has 3. You, Jake, Drew all have 2, and then people who have 1 weekly prize would be Noah. That's it. So that's all the weekly prizes of where we stand right now. Can't believe we're 10 weeks in already. We've only got 4 weeks left of the regular season, so I'll start.
That would be a good time to pick the draft order. Jake's probably wondering.
That's a great point. We should really do that soon. I mean, I've always heard you want to do it before the playoffs of the season prior. In all seriousness, I think he'll want to pick it in January, like New Year's Day. Let's start off 2023 by picking draft order. I'll start kind of going through playoffs and where we're standing as we're getting closer and closer to that. So far, right now, I took a look. Nobody's been officially eliminated, even though Kyle would tell you that he has. Nobody's actually been officially eliminated yet. No one's officially clinched, although Drew and Jake sitting at first and second and at 14 and 6 each are very, very close to being able to clinch a playoff spot. But obviously, they're both looking to get those top 2 seeds, which give you a first round bye. They're both looking pretty good there, sitting in first and second. And, Jake in second place is 3 wins ahead of Noah, who's in third. Right now, Chris is in fourth. And then, obviously it's very, very close in the whole middle of the league. But Chris in fourth, Andre's in fifth. You're holding on to that last playoff spot right now at number 6 at 10-10. And then all the below 500 teams looking outside in is Hilshi. Chris needed me to mention that Hilshi is the first team in league history to have a record of 9-11. So congratulations, Hilshi. Pretty fucked up. Couldn't have, won another game.
Does that end the game in Bart rules?
So Bart rules, ping pong rules would say that Hilshi that he lost and that he has to go sit in the corner by the TV where I am for 5 minutes before he can play again. Chris suggested that he has to play all Jets and Giants players next week. So she's in 7th. I'm in 8th. Face fuck 9th place. Kyle all the way in last, but he still has that trophy. So that's where we stand right now. And going through the matchups, we mentioned yours 175 for your second weekly prize over Kyle, who scored 123. The curse is lifted, and you had a unbelievable game from CeeDee Lamb, and then also two 30-point wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Christian Kirk.
Yep, I felt like I had a consistent showing across the board. It felt good to get back. I didn't play Josh Allen, not knowing what was going on there, but I think this is a little taste of what's to come. I made the big deal. I traded away Jonathan Taylor, which was really difficult to do, but I like my team more now than I did then. I feel like when Ramondre can get back in, he'll be my flex. I've got my 2 wide receivers. I've got Josh Allen. Assuming there's no duds on any given week, I feel good. And I do have Saquon still, gets 35 carries.
He's been a stud. Kenneth Walker looks phenomenal right now. So even giving up Taylor. And Taylor looked great this week too. He looked like himself. But even with that said, it's like even if he is great, if Ken Walker's really good, and it'll be fine. And it seems like you won giving up Kyle Pitts. That's been sad.
Don't miss that.
Yeah, and Kyle, and so this had to have been your best tight end week of the year, having thrown Cole Kmet in there with 23 points. That's crazy. I don't know if he scored 23 all season, but he had 2 touchdowns. That was huge.
Yeah, not what I was expecting when I rolled him out there, but Can't complain. And I played him instead of, I think, Mark Andrews. I think I have
And
Mark Andrews on my team now.
Andrews is on bye. Yeah, that's right. There you go. So the week that you trade away Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews is on bye becomes by far your best week at the tight end position.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's the way it goes. Kyle had a good week at 123, but couldn't get the win there. He did get the win against the league median that pushed him up to 5 wins. But good week, just ran into you, which sucked for him. He had 39 from Mahomes, and just not enough to compete with a juggernaut putting up 175 points. But at least he got the win against the median. Still in last place by a lot, but he'll tell you he's just going to keep clinging on to that trophy. So
that's good, Kyle. Keep polishing that trophy for whoever.
He's got it for at least another 6 weeks. So we'll see. It'll be nice and clean for whoever's going to take it next. Moving on, I finally had 2 wins this week. That felt pretty good. 126 to 111 win over Drew, and the biggest upset of the week. It was the number 9 team going up against the number 1 team, and my team decided to show up this week. Just a kind of a solid showing across the board, really. I mean, didn't really have anyone that disappointed me too bad, which was a little different for my team. Josh Jacobs putting up 22, Hurts with 25. McCaffrey, even though he had the same amount of touches as Elijah Mitchell, had 17 points. So it was a good showing. Dalton Schultz finally looking good, so I'm feeling good about that. So that was an encouraging week. Definitely to be able to beat the number 1 team in Drew.
Gutsy to roll Darnell Mooney out there. That's a big trust play.
It was, and I was, back and forth all week. The 2 decisions where Dalton Schultz and Gerald Everett, and I big time made the right call there. I was very relieved about that. But I was, it was between Devontae Smith and Darnell Mooney, and I just felt like Smith is just so boomer bust right now, and I've had so many games that I've lost because a player got me 2 points. That I'm like, Mooney's getting enough targets. He'll at least be safer. And that's basically what I got. I mean, I got 9 points from him. Didn't kill me. Didn't really help all that much. Smith had a touchdown and did better. But, I went 2-0. So I'm not gonna complain there. I was lucky to run into Drew on one of his down weeks here. Only 111 points this had to have been the lowest scoring game Drew's been in all year. He's just been points for, points against, through the roof. Every week's a shootout. This one wasn't quite like that, as he went 0-2, but he's still in first place. Only moving him to 14-6. But Terry McLaurin scared the crap out of me on Monday night. I really was, thinking that. Now, I'm not taking anything for granted at this point. I mean, the way this season's gone, I've had times where it looks like I should get obvious wins on a Monday night, and I've not done that. So I wasn't like, oh, I won going into Monday because I was up 15. I still had Jalen Hurts, and he had Sanders and McLaurin. McLaurin goes out, puts up like 18 points in the first half, and I was like, well, this is going to happen again. But I was lucky enough to hold on there.
Yeah, anytime you can get lucky with a down week there from Eckler and Miles Sanders, gonna be helpful for you. But Drew's team is good. I do think he's underperformed to this point. He's overperformed, sorry, to this point in the season. But he's got those really consistent players like Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and Austin Eckler, who, you've got to go out there and put up enough points to beat those key players. And so if you can just catch them on that off week, then you've got a shot. But yeah, you've got to score over 130 points usually.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 from Eckler was an absolute win. That was just about best case scenario there. So, but I'm in 8th place now, 8-12. That was huge for me. I'm in the hunt right now for a playoff spot. Not in the best position, but I'm right there. And Drew's still in first place.
Not only is Drew still in first place, but he's also verified on Twitter via Twitter Blue. So Drew, just $8 well spent, Drew. I gotta say that seeing those verified tweets come out of you just makes my day.
Are you sure it's not because he's in first place in our fantasy football league and that got him verified?
I can tell you, I'm sure it's not because he's a verified news or media source or whatever it is. So,
well, he's one of the most famous gamers of our generation, so of course he's verified. He was verified
because he's great at lying, cheating, and keeping secrets or whatever it is.
Yeah, in fantasy football.
We'll see.
Noah got a win this week, and he's in third place right now, 128 to 108 over Hilsey. I would like to, I Noah with Justin Fields. It was just unbelievable last couple of weeks for Justin Fields. 43 for him this week was huge. Devontae Adams with 27. So big week for Noah. Not having Kyler play, but he had Justin Fields, so that worked out great for him. But I would like to take as much time as we possibly can to shit on Hilsey because his lineup, it looks bad. Like it is not. He's in seventh right now. He's right in the middle of the playoff hunt. He's by no means out of this, but he doesn't have a second running back that can even score a point. Like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his stat line this week: 0 carries, 0 catches on 2 targets, 0 fantasy points. That was his RB2, who we traded for.
I looked at this matchup before we talked tonight, Devin, and this matchup is just the epitome of like boom or bust players here. I mean, Noah has a much better consistent lineup, but like 45 from Fields, down weeks from Chubb and Henry, 27 from Adams, down weeks from everyone else on Noah's team, and then really Ryan's team is just Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson. Like everyone else just, and the Tennessee Titans defense, like that's the points for him there. But he's going to be, Ryan's in trouble. When I saw that Noah beat him there, and that propelled me into the playoff spot. It's going to be key for me to Ryan that stays down for me to continue to move up. But DJ Moore, with whatever's going on at quarterback there, Zach Ertz is out for the rest of the year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire not scoring a point doesn't help, but yeah, Ryan's in big trouble. Those trades, like we talked about, did not work out.
And he didn't do anything on the waiver wire, at least yesterday. So he doesn't have a tight end on his roster. Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones combined for almost just under 60 points, and the rest of his team didn't score 50. Herbert has been one of the more disappointing draft picks this year, which it sucks because I don't think it's Herbert's fault. He hasn't had any weapons. Like Keenan's been out all year. Mike Williams has been out for a while now. Even Everett went down last game. Like it's been rough for Herbert. But Hilsey went into the year betting on Cam Akers, lost that bet. Didn't really have any running backs after that. And now he's got Chase Edmonds, who he had that trade with Noah, and Chase Edmonds is now nothing. Naeem Hines on the Bills, like he doesn't have a second running back. His receivers, Jefferson's obviously unbelievable. Lazard's been okay, but this week looked like the Watson show. So I don't have much faith in Hilsey's team at this point. If I had to predict final standings right now, I'd have him probably in 9th.
I think that's fair. I think people should be lining up to play Ryan right now.
Absolutely. So going for Noah, 2-0 in the week, third place. He's up to 11-9, won 3 straight games. So Noah's in a pretty good spot. Jake is the other 14-6 team in second place right now. Got a win over the Oil, 120 to 84. Chris with a super disappointing week. Jake 120 was really one of his down weeks actually, and he still won comfortably. Tony Pollard with 21. Phenomenal when Zeke does. He's good anyway, but phenomenal when Zeke doesn't play. So, 21 there. Donta Foreman with 19. And, Chris just didn't have it at all this week.
Chris has just got – I know Chris went on that great run, and I don't want to take that away from him, but he's got real issues, I think, on his, in his running backs. Kamara has been so inconsistent, and Najee Harris is just a plague right now. He gets 20 carries and can't break 10 points. That's not, that's a lot of opportunities there, but just can't cash in. I think D-Hop is going to be great moving forward, but Juju's going to be out for a little bit with that scary concussion.
Yep.
He's got some good bench players. That's the only thing there that's going to help him out. Yeah,
he's got some decent wide receivers he can plug in. So he could be okay there. But like you said, Najee you just can't rely on right now. So he might have to be rolling with like a Devin Singletary or Brian Robinson over Najee, which is just insane. But I certainly think he's still in a decent spot. But it's gonna be tough. I mean, he's 11-9 in fourth place, so he's in a good position to get into the playoffs. And obviously, anything can happen. But down week one.
Jake should be a little worried too. With Zeke probably coming back this week, I would assume Pollard his workload's gonna come down a bit, and Cooper Kupp, Mr. Reliable. Jake's got to finish out the rest of the season without Cooper Kupp. There's a chance maybe he's back in time for playoffs. I think he's getting that tightrope surgery that Mac didn't get for his high ankle sprain, but it's just Jake's in a good enough spot, I think, to ride it out, but that's a big problem.
That's tough. That's real tough to win a championship not having Cooper Kupp. I mean, Jake's in a perfect spot to get into the playoffs. I don't think he has any concerns there, but if he wants a first round bye, if he wants to go deep into the playoffs, which is the goal, not having Cooper Kupp is going to hurt him a lot. So, big win for Jake, but like you said, big loss with Cooper Kupp. And then the last matchup of the week, Andre put up 137 in a win over Bart and Zach, 137-94. Andre also 10-10. He's in fifth place. And man, if Jonathan Taylor looks like that, I know you're still happy with the trade. I mean, but having Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor roll out in one lineup is definitely really scary.
No, I said to him when I made that deal, I said, Andre, if he can come back and be, most of what he was before this injury, before this bad offense, your team is going to be pretty much unstoppable. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, no Lamar this week on bye, and still got 137 points. So obviously tight end now. It's become a concern after the trade that you made with him. No more Andrews. He's got to roll with either Kyle Pitts or Greg Dulcich, who both of them had terrible weeks. So the tight end spot, I'll figure out the trade I made with him. I'm feeling good about that right now. Like Debo doesn't look great. But Diggs is just so consistently unbelievable. And if Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor, I mean, those guys can rolling up against a lineup that has Lamar Jackson, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Stephon Diggs is terrifying. So
he would have beat Ryan right there.
Oh yeah, easily. So, and I get the privilege of playing against that lineup next week, so I'm not looking forward to it. But 10-10 for Dre. He's in a pretty good position there. And we talked about some of the concerns from some of these other teams that are in the playoff hunt. So, teams like yours and Andres, who are technically the two teams that are, clinging on to those last two playoff spots, might look like two of the stronger lineups in the league right now. So that's how close our league is. Bart and Zach moved back to ninth place. I leapfrogged them again. Me and Bart and Zach have just been going back and forth every week between 8th and 9th, so not the best place to be. Leonard Fournette has not been very good, and it looks like he might get benched for, not benched, but, take a back seat to my guy, Rachaad White. They do have a more improved quarterback situation now with Tua there versus what they've had all year, but, Swift looks hurt. Fournette doesn't look good. Dallas Goedert just went down. I mean, they looked like they had a major upgrade at the tight end position going and getting Goedert, and now he goes down onto IR. So that definitely, and who knows if Keenan Allen will ever play football again. So they've got some question marks. I'm not counting them out of it at all yet, but they've got some big question marks for sure.
Yeah, Bart's gonna figure that out, but no advice. Sorry, Bart. Just a lot of guys who are, like you said, just underperforming. Swift, Patterson, Pittman, Keenan Allen. I mean, guys that, again, on paper right out of the draft looks good, but unfortunately just not working out right now.
Yep, absolutely. So rolling into week 11, we got 4 weeks left of the regular season now, 8 games. So really getting down into that playoff stretch. The trade deadline is week 14. Like, I know a lot of leagues, I've started to hear people talking about all trade deadlines coming up, just so everyone knows. We do it all the way up until you can't trade during the playoffs. We do it all the way up until week 14. So you still got a couple weeks there, but 4 weeks left. So looking ahead to next week, I mentioned it. I've got Andre next week. I'm nervous about that matchup for sure. He's, 5th place. I'm in 8th. So big matchup already for playoff implications. We got Kyle in 10th going up against Bart and Zach in 9th. So a little toilet bowl action going on there. Jake's in 2nd going up against Hilshi. Good luck, Ryan, with, hopefully you can find a running back and a tight end that can get more than 0 points. And then honorable mention matchup of the week. This is not it, but it's also a great matchup, is you versus Drew. Drew's in 1st, you're in 6th, but both teams look pretty good right now. That will be a great game, I think. And then the matchup of the week will be Noah, 3rd place, versus Chris in 4th place. Chris just had a crappy week, but before that's been on fire. Noah's won 3 straight, and his team's looking pretty strong. So that should be a good matchup. Good matchup for sure. So how you feeling going up against the top seeded Drew? I just took him down this week. You think you can keep it going?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm reminded that we're at the point in the season where we're starting to, go through the schedule again. Yep. So, of course, I put up the weekly high against Kyle in week 1, the weekly high against Kyle in week 1. So,
and sorry then about again that. In week 10.
Yeah. And Drew, I edged out Drew by 10 points, 153 to 142 in week 2. So I feel like that's, probably a similar score to what we may see this week. But I feel like Drew's beatable right now. He's got some guys on bye, so got to make it happen right now.
Going back to the part of the schedule that you were tearing it up in the beginning of the year, so that's definitely
right. Good timing. Oh, that's making me feel even better. Thanks.
There you go. Yeah. No.
And I love it when we see all these 11-9 teams fighting for it too, because someone's got to take a loss there. For those people like yourself, me, Bart, who are looking to jump up a little further in the standings, that's what we need. We need those guys to play each other.
Yep, definitely. All right, thanks for joining me, Sam, and good luck next week against Drew. Keep it rolling.
I promise I was already in a suit jacket before I came on this, so I didn't put it on just for you guys.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Sam.
All right, see ya.